Hello and welcome to the stream. Today we are going to be making some cases for some notebooks. This is just my crafting journal I got finished. Pretty nice. Lots of space for writing. But I was using that last night for another project I was working on. But I can't show it because it's a bit of a surprise. Alright, so I got these tiny little notebooks I put together using some leftover paper. And I thought, you know, don't throw the paper away, just make it into a notebook, right? So, that's what we're gonna do. So these ones are gonna be cloth bound. Actually did my first leather binding last night. It was quite a ordeal. Not too bad actually, but took a lot of pairing. Okay. So I got these end sheets, sort of a dual colored craft paper. So this one's like a really bright magenta. So let's see what book cloth will work well with that. Maybe the gray. I have just enough of this brown. I don't know about that one. Yeah, maybe. Whoa. Maybe there's gold one on the bottom. Let me see. Keep all my book cloth on these clothes hangers. Makes it a lot more easy to store. A lot easier to store. Let's see here. Kind of like that. I'll do that. Alright, next one. This one has a dark green interior. I think this one would do well with the gray. Yeah. What about brown? It's not good. I love this brown one. It's got these like red and blue flecks in it. That one's good too. Does this even have enough for this one? This one has a light blue interior. Wow, that would be just enough. I think I'm going to use the brown on this blue one. Stick that somewhere safe. Alright. Dark green. Look at this star pattern. Star field. Maybe. Gray. little bit more. This is all book cloth I made myself, so fortunately, it's things like the brown, it's going to be difficult finding more of that cloth. Maybe. I don't have the salvaged edge, so I don't know what the name of it was. If anyone knows, please let me know. Oh, what about this? I kind of like that. It's sort of vomitous, but that's fine. Alright. Let's get these back up on the wall. Start with that. Let's check it to see if there are any voids I need to worry about. No glue running through. I had that issue last night on a book I was binding. Okay, so that part right there did not get glued down properly. This is one of my earlier book cloth making experiments, so this one's a bit rougher than my more recent stuff, if you are thinking about purchasing book cloth from my Etsy store. But yeah, this one's not bad. Good use of a small piece of book cloth. Alright. Let's see, we need of my wonderful new rulers my friend sent me. Gorgeous. Good weight to them. I still need to get some cork backing on them. I checked a couple different Michaels and they didn't have what I needed, so it looks like I need to order online. Ugh. Alright, best way to cut book cloth in my experience is with a rotary cutter. My wife had an extra one she gave me. Thank you, Hannah. Let's see. How much edging do we need? It's kind of overkill. But I'm not going to be able to use this tiny piece for anything else, so I mean, whatevs. Let's mark this. Alright. Should have done the other side first, but we can rotate this. And now it is the other side. So I've been having good luck with 5 or 6 millimeter shoulders. Let's see here. You need like millimeters shoulder space for the board. This is 2 millimeter board. The cloth itself is like 1 millimeter or less. And then let's see here. Folding that. Let's do like 6. If we have too much, we'll see what that's like, because I've had it every time I've done it wrong. I've not had enough shoulder, and it doesn't work as well. So we're going to draw a line straight through there. It's actually bit too far over. Just account for that. Use a ruler to line up our straight edge. Let me try to get more of this in frame. Use the ruler to help line up your boards and your spine stiffener. I need to find a material that's a little more robust than this, what do you call it? Yellow folder card? Double check because I didn't account like I said I was going to. It's a little over 5 millimeters. That'll probably be fine. This is a very thin material. See, I have a little scar. Last night I was making a case for leather, and I did not account for the thickness of the leather because I only paired the outer rim. Maybe I should have also paired where the spine was going to be going. And it was thicker than I anticipated. So I actually had to trim the board. Trim the board on the inside very, very carefully. And it's not an optimal solution, but it was a solution. Would have been better if it just never had to have been done in the first place, you know? We don't need that there anymore, at least not for the moment. Oh, but I do need it to help line up my board. This one's a little cattywampus. It's there we go. And then we mark this just to help us remember where that goes. And we'll say this is I like to do this in case things get mixed around. Spine and 4. Okay, time to glue. Where's my brush? Okay, it might be in the kitchen. 1 second. Brush. Let me get some wax paper. Alright. Stuff is useful for preventing glue from sticking where you don't want it to stick. It's going to be more helpful when we case in, but let me grab some mailers. Okay. Actually, I have better luck doing this in the hand. Let's see. Need that again for lining up our board. Alright, so this is a mix of methyl cellulose and PVA. I wish I had been using this earlier in my bookbinding because it's pretty amazing. Now, the ratio that I have gives me about 5 seconds to lift back off and attempt to reapply it without it destroying the paper. If it was straight up PVA, once you set it down, you're not getting it back up. It'll just destroy whatever the softer of the two materials is. But with the methyl cellulose, it gives you a little more working time, you will start to, in my experience, pull up the softer paper, but it won't annihilate it, you know what I mean? So, like that. I was able to shift it slightly by rotating it. Not something you could do with just PVA. Methyl cellulose, yeah, derived from plants, I think. Just on its own, it's a very weak glue, but it's a very forgiving glue. Sort of like wheat paste. But I don't think you can mix wheat paste with PVA. Also, wheat paste goes bad in like 3 or 4 days, whereas methyl cellulose, I believe, will last about a month or 2, from what I've heard. I don't know, I hadn't had it long enough to be able to verify that kind of information. You don't need a ton, but you do want full coverage, you know. And one of the downsides of using the methyl cellulose is that it has more water in it, because when you make it, you basically whisk it with water to create it, and adding more water always complicates things when it comes to, where's my thing? There it is. Where it comes to you know, expansion and contraction of the paper, warping, stuff like that. So it's always have to keep that into account. This will probably be pressed before I case it in, so won't be an issue, I don't think. Everything else has been lined up properly with the spine. Bone folder, where are you at? Alright, there we go. Now, I tried putting it around on this little text block, but it didn't really give me all that much. There's a tiny bit of shoulder, so we'll see how that goes. It's going to be kind of a flat back with a spine stiffener instead of a board like you normally would do. Alright, this one. Oh, get up here. There you go. Piece of cake. Alright. Let's trim the edges. Always keep the blade on those rotary cutters stowed when you're not using it. They are unbelievably sharp. I have sliced open the tips of my fingers a few times. It's the kind of cut that you don't even notice it, don't even feel it, until you are just bleeding out onto what you're working on. And they're like, oh crap. So it's going to be a bit shorter, but the end sheet will cover up any gaps. Alright, now cutting the edges. You want to cut at a 45-degree angle, 1.5 times the width of the board from the tip of the board. So I kind of just eyeball it. These are 2mm boards, so that means you want to cut 3mm away from the edge. I might not get it perfect, but I've never had an issue folding my corners. Yeah, see, that's not really a perfect 45, and it doesn't really matter. At least in my experience, I've never had it ruin the block or the case. Come on. Whoa, is my rotary blade getting dull? It's about 45. Alright. This one's ready to dry. Let's do a little test fit. Yeah, there's not much shoulder for it to hook onto. You know what? I completely forgot about headbands. Good thing I noticed that before I cased this in. Yeah, I was looking to see how the headbands would match up in the case. It's pretty good. Yeah, much more robust shoulder. Okay, good. That'll be good. We need to put headbands on that though. Stick this under a press for the time being. Under a couple boards. No real weight added other than the weight of the boards. Alright. On to numero dos. Millimeters. These rulers really have made my projects more accurate. I still need to work on boards because what happens when I cut the boards is I really got to work on this, doing a lighter touch on my cuts, because when I pull all the way to the bottom, I almost always like curve in slightly. What is that in golfing? I call it a shank it, but or slice. I can't remember, but something I need to work on. And so I can see it when I, like these, these have a slight, ever so slight bias on the very end. That's not the ruler's fault though. That's just me. Okay. Ooh. And then 5 millers. Use this as a brace. There's a slight bias. Let's see if I rotate that. Yeah, it's much flatter on this side. Oh well. You know, every single time I make a book, I learned something new. Let's do that. 4, spine, spine, 4. Alright, bracing. Laying it down perfect. Bone folder. Try to work out if there's any ripples or bumps or anything. And then onto the spine. See if I can do this without the paper. Good. Brace. All right. Trim the edges off. Cutting corners. Way too close to my fingers there. Let's try that without putting my hands in risk. It's a little too far. There we go. All right, toss this under the block, or the boards. All right. We'll do the headbands in a second. That one also needs headbands. Where's that third book? Yeah, with the brown paper. Nice. This one also needs headbands. All right, so... What can I do with these? Maybe I can make a like a composite book cloth using strips of offcuts. Try to create a sheet like that. It'd be really thick though. It could be thick if I'm not careful. I don't know. I don't like throwing decently sized pieces away, but it's not big enough to use as a covering material as it is. Let me know what you think in the comments, right? Alright. A little slurp of Dr. Pepper. Not sponsored. Alright, let's see. This one is slightly wider. Or longer, I guess. Oh. It'll be fine. Well, let's see. How does it fit in the book fit in it? Yeah. Wait a second. All right, let's trim that real quick. Something's not adding up here. Now it looks fine. I must have cut them like side by side, and so alright, well in that case we need to make sure that this is like this, right? Does that make sense? This book cloth I love. All right, so I don't think that book cloth has a grain direction, but it looks like I made a mark here indicating that. That's not gonna work. I don't think it has a grain direction. I've done some experimentation. I've bound books in both with the covering in both directions for the book cloth, and I haven't found any difference really. Now paper, yes, that's important. The board itself, yes, you must, you really should do that. After my recent experiments and making the text block intentionally wrong, I think that you should. Now, as I say that, this is the one. The text block looks pretty normal to me. Maybe in the future it'll get all screwed up, but as of right now, if you told me this was sewn spine up and down, short grain, I would believe you. But I don't know. I guess I'm defending the orthodoxy, but there's a reason why people have done it in a certain way for hundreds and hundreds of years, right? Then again, is parchment? No, parchment would have a grain direction, but does vellum have a grain direction? Because it's like leather, and I don't think leather has a grain direction. Vellum is a type of leather, right? All right, 5. Well, let's do 6 on this one. See if it makes that much of a difference. Six. Yeah, I ended up putting 10 on the leather book I was binding last night. And even that I don't think was enough. Alright. Why don't I just paste this down as I'm doing each piece? Because then it'll be aligned. Yeah, let's just do that. Whoa. It's being very economical with the glue. I have like a 5-pound bag of methyl cellulose. The PVA can get expensive though. This is the archival kind. But the mix really stretches it, which is nice. Uh-oh. Yeah, we got some... Oh, no, I got it. This is, I think, the very first piece of book cloth I ever made. The first book I ever, cased in book I ever bound was using this book cloth material. And I only had one sheet of it, so. Okay, let's do you. Should be wearing my smock, but got a rag readily at hand. All right. And with this, I can just slide this into place. Not possible with PVA. Nice. There's a little bit of tension in the book cloth right there. Let me just make sure that that's not imparting anything. There's a little ripple. Okay, 5 millimeters. 6, I said 6. 6 millimeter. 6 millimeter. 6 millimeter. Rotate it this way. Alright. Oh, I did these backwards. God damn it. Well, it'll be fine. These are just practice notebooks, right? I know I don't usually memorize which one should go on which side. I usually just put spine or 4. So that's a screw up on my part. I don't think it's gonna make that much of a difference though. There we go. Shift that. Ooh, we got a lot of bumps there. Smooth it out. All right, nice. Ooh, that is quite a bit different right there. You know what? Rotate this backwards. See, look at this. Oh, a little tearing right there. But, this would not have been possible to do with just PVA. I did tear a bit on the corner there. So if I flip this over, shouldn't that give me a bit of more evenness in my... Yeah, let's do that. Alright. So this is going to go side down. Yeah, if that was straight PVA, it's not coming off there. Or it would destroy whatever you... completely destroy it. There's still paper. And this is just rice paper. So it's not the sturdiest material in the world, you know? So this mixed stuff is pretty magical. Alright. Take 2. Okay, let's put away. Let's check the top. Much better. Okay. Maybe I just had it misaligned or something. I don't know. But it's working better now. And Let the cellulose save me. Alright, now let's trim it. What? Now I'm getting... There's a tiny bump right here in this top corner. And it's creating a lip. Not a lip, but a... that's what's causing that. Oh, well. It is what it is. Nothing I can do about it now. Just cut my boards better next time. Or try to. You know, when you watch my stream, you get the good, the bad, and the ugly, you know? All the warts. Cut all the way through there. Got a little bubble right there. Maybe a void in the book cloth. Like I said, this was the very first book cloth I ever made, so I wouldn't be surprised. My technique and process have gotten a lot better since then. Alright. Getting a little dull. This was at one time the sharpest knife that I owned. It's actually 4. Let's see if we can get 1 millimeter off of that. Almost dug into my fingernail there. Ow. I did have a jig that I made, but I don't think it would be able to hold up. I was using a snap-off knife back then. The jig is only made of binder's board, so I don't think it would hold up very well to that. Alright, this one is done now. Stick this under the board. Yeah. Figure out what kind of headband we want for this. Now I got just a giant pack of headbands on Amazon. I think it was like $8. And I think for my next project I'm going to try to sew on my headbands. I'm going to be making a commonplace book. So it's kind of a special thing that, yeah, you know. Alright. Well, I kind of need the... I need these guys for that. Let's see. Alright, whoa. Speckled green. What do you think? Oh, maybe this orange and red actually looks like it would be really good for that. Boom, easy. Gold and gray. Gold and gray. Ooh, maybe this blue and white. Could go gray. It's a little, want a little pop of color, right? Ah, if we do this, This is almost the same color as the book that was going inside the case, end sheets. I kind of like that, so we're gonna do that and that. For the last one, it was brown. It's kind of drying. Let's see if we can get a little piece of the brown. There we go. Mock it up. Pink. And the inside was a light blue. Not too much there. Yellow, maybe. I like that. Yellow. Easy. Piece of cake. My wife tells me that I guess I'm tooting my own horn here. She tells me that I'm pretty good at color matching. I don't think so. I just go with what. Like, there's no theory behind when I choose colors and stuff. So it's just what I think looks good. What makes sense to me. Get back here. Yeah, I'm probably going to go all out for the commonplace book, you know, maybe bind on cords, or whatever, sewn on cords, something like that, sewn headband. Should probably do some test runs with both of those before I do that, though. Alright, this one. Dark green. Let's see. Okay. Too much glue right there. All right. Yeah, and the round on this one got a little wonky too. I don't know if you can see that. It's more of a pyramid or something. Oh well. Practice makes perfect. There's one. There's two. Hold this for a second because, like I said, it's a little wonky. Make sure it's got good connection there. Alrighty, and you. Let's grab that case. Put these away. Alrighty, let's take a look. And how much of a shoulder for that? Oh, but I like the yellow there. That's really nice. Okay. Let's do the small ones first. Alright, so this is, I believe, called turning in. You always start with the long edge, because when you flip that long edge in, it's going to create a little bit of a half fold right here at each of the corners. And if you and so then when that happens, you take your bone folder, you squish it down, and then you fold the four edges over it. If you don't do that, it's going to create so what's going to happen is it's going to create a corner, and depending on which way you fold it, the corner is either going to point sort of downward or point sort of forward upish. You want it to point sort of in an upward direction, because when this is sitting on a shelf, if this is pointing down, like if you had done the foredge first, then the bottom, it's going to create that little bump. And when you put this on a shelf, take it on and off the shelf multiple times, that little corner is going to get worn down really fast, and it'll damage the case. So this order of operations sort of helps prevent that. So I'm just going to put mix all along this bottom row. I do try to just get a little bit on that upper board as well, and also make sure that you get in the shoulders and on the spine stiffener, because you want the book cloth to adhere to those sections of the shoulder. I try to sort of introduce it to the fold with the bone folder first, and then I fold it over and across. That one's a bit messy, a little too much glue, I think. And then I sort of work it, maybe clean up the glue a little so my hands aren't as slippy, and I work it in. Oh my god, this is so much easier than leather. Leather, you have to wrestle that thing over. And then once it folds down, it tries to pop back up. You have to wrestle it back down again, hold it, and it starts to slowly come up again. You wrestle it back down. It's quite an ordeal, actually. A lot of upper body strength used there. Another good tip is to, when this folds over, the part of the spine might try to jut up a bit. So pull that down, or to try to like pull it in a little more than the boards. And then I'm going to use the bone folder to try to work in those shoulders. Actually, a good thing I found is to take a couple of pens and just rest those into the shoulder. These ones are going to fit there. Just hold it there for a second. I've also heard that like knitting needles would also be good. But I have pens on hand, so after a few seconds, take it off. Okay, a little right there. So now you can see that when we fold it over, it's nice and flat with the. Did I fold that one all the way down? I don't think I did. There we go. So now you can see the whole top is just flush. If you're doing this at home and you're like, wow, you make it look so easy, just remember this is maybe like the 25th, maybe the 20th, 25th notebook I've made, so practice makes perfect. Oh, hey Peppadoo, what's up? Oh, Jesus. Okay, you're gonna get glue everywhere. Come on, not right now. Sorry, kid. And yet, yeah. sort of teach it that the curve is coming, the turnover. Work it down so that there's no pocket underneath between the board and the flat side of the book edge. Okay, that's good. And then gonna pull down that center of it, spine, head of the spine, I guess you would say, and stick these in there for a sec. Right into the shoulder well. All right. Fold it a bit, see how it looks. Looks good. All right.
Glue rags.
So as you can see, it created this little corner right there. Actually, this one tore a bit. So you can see that little corner edge. We're going to take a bone folder and we're going to squish that down flat. This one's a little weird, but yeah. Squish it down flat. And that one. So now they're flat. And we add some glue to the foredge. Paste downs? Turn-ins? I can't remember. This is probably the smallest notebook I've ever made. Let's see. I'm just using the desk to fold it in for me. Alright, there you have it. Now I got a little bit of exposed Kozo paper there. Maybe I can use this, my little micro spatula, and a tiny bit of glue to sort of squish that under there. Cover it up. It's better? Alright. Let's do a test fit. Pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. I actually really like that tiny little speckled notebook. Shoulders have a pretty good amount of space there. Ah, okay, interesting. So on my leather bound one, I was having trouble getting the shoulders to form near the edges, and I'm just now realizing it's probably because that, well, here the cloth is doubled up, and on the leather book, the leather was doubled up. So doubled up leather is not going to want to hold up. Yeah, okay. And like I said, these don't really have that much of a round. They do have a shoulder, so we're not going to get much round out of the spine on this, which is unfortunate. But it's just such a small text block. I don't have the skill to do that. So, all right. Next up. Okay. See if my methyl cellulose can hold out. I'm running on fumes here and there. Not much left. I'll just switch over to PVA. But man, I am really loving the mix. Like I said, should have been using that ages ago. Sort of pulling it down like you would when you're rounding a spine, or a yeah. Alrighty. Next side. Dun, dun, dun. I pulled a little too far, I think. I think it'll be alright. Not too worried about it. These ones still got a little bit of a bump head facing downward, even though I folded it in the correct side. Maybe there's more to the physics of it than I'm aware of. It's entirely possible. Oh well, still looks good. If anyone knows the answer to that, they can say so in the comments. All right, that case is done. So bright, even my camera is like, whoa. All right, next, the larger case. Larger case, but same, you know, procedure. Doesn't need a lot of glue, but make sure you have good coverage. Make sure you get that little spot where it covers the spine. Little bit of a frayed end there. I'm not going to worry about it too much. Something I've picked up over the years, there's big deals, things are big deals, and there's things that are little deals. And most things are just little deals, so no need to worry too much about them. End result will still look pretty good, if not great. And as someone who is very I'm trying to get better about it. Things for me like always have to be just right, you know. I think that's a common thing in crafting. Like when I did ceramics for 6 years, and in that time I think I only made one piece of pottery that I thought was pretty good. But, you know, everyone around you is telling you, oh, wow, this is amazing. You should sell this stuff. And I'm like, man, none of this is any good. Like, because I've been exposed to people at the studio who are, like, actually very good. But who knows? Maybe they're having that same internal conflict. What is that? Imposter syndrome, I guess. I get that pretty bad. And so when I come to you on this stream talking about bookbinding, I'm not coming to you as an expert. I'm coming to you purely as someone who loves bookbinding, and oh, that's a little uneven right there. I mean, it's to be expected based on the little tricks that we had to do earlier. But yeah, I'm not an expert in this by any means. I am learning every single time I do one of these projects. There we go. Pop these down. There we go. If you want an expert, Das Bookbinding, that dude, he could be a professor in bookbinding. Honestly. I think he does teach some classes, I'm not sure. But he is a wealth of knowledge. Now he goes with like old school bookbinding techniques, which, you know, has its place. But I figure in the modern day, when we have modern tools, you know, utilize them. He does too. I've seen him do reviews for leather pairing devices and such. The methyl cellulose mix, that's a modern invention, I think, right? Or maybe I'm wrong. PVA glue is definitely a modern invention. Polyvinyl acetate. In the old days, it was all animal glue and wheat paste. So I'm just sort of rambling here, but that dude is sort of my spiritual spirit animal, bookbinding spirit animal. And if you haven't checked out his channel, I'd highly recommend it. No. When I see his videos, he doesn't make mistakes all that often. Or maybe he cuts them out, I don't know. But he has shown a few, so it lends me to believe that he actually is that good. Because he'll go out of his way to show you when he screws up. Me, I have no choice, because I'm always screwing. Oh, man. Oh, I love the yellow with the brown. Let me try to... It's gonna have the light blue on the inside. Yeah, I'm just doing this, you know. I think it's fun. I'm also pretty introverted in real life, so this helps. What is that, exposure therapy of talking with people that I don't know. I enjoy it. I enjoy streaming video games from time to time as well. I don't really get any viewers, but you know, it's still fun. Alright. Shall we case these in? Just do a little test run here. That's bothering me. That little corner. Get down. There you go. Get a little glue on this side as well. Try to work that in there. Alright, let's start with little green notebook. Alright. Now this, you're gonna want some wax paper in between the pages. Like so. I should have done a piece of paper, then wax paper. That's me getting ahead of myself. Ooh, we are running out of glue. Will it be enough? Alright, how am I gonna do this there. Line that up in the middle. Looking good, looking good. Come on. Try to get a bone folder in there real quick. Let's make sure everything's nice and flat. And then other side. Sounds right now. Whoa. That's probably way too much glue right there. I'm sorry, guys. I always gotta remember to put it within the frame of the camera. I just closed this. I was fitting it. Alright. That one is ready to go be pressed. First leather binding. Turned out pretty well. Alright, next up. Let's slice this into. I need to remember to do like with a waste sheet technique, where you have a piece of paper that you rip off after everything's said and done. But yeah, it's more of an advanced technique I haven't really tried yet. It's a little more visible for you guys. Slide that out. Make sure the headbands aren't destroyed. And then I'm gonna take this, try to rest it in its shoulder. Line up the headbands, rest in its shoulder, and squish that down. Squish the cat. All right. Next, get rid of that one. Oh, an hour and a half. We've made the cases, and now we're halfway through casing in. That's pretty good time. Not particularly rushing either. I'll throw that away in a bit. Let's focus on this right now. Alright, now this side, I want to make sure that things are lined up right. Okay. Hit it with a bone folder. Just to be sure that it's nice and flat. And if there's any glue, ooh, like that, I'll be made aware of it. Stick that in there. Actually, that's what I used to do, is stick that in one side and then this into the other. Yeah, it's a good idea. I should go back to doing that. There we go. And now we press this. Nice and even. All right, cool. All right, and then the last one. Man, we're on a roll. Okay. Stick that there. Will there be enough glue? I think there will. Okay, let's see. Don't need full glue coverage on the mole. That stuff's already stuck on pretty well. Yeah, let's get you. Let's cut you in half. Don't do that. Trying to be careful because some of these pieces I should actually have thrown out because they have glue dried on them. I don't want it to reactivate. Okay. Situate it in the block. In the alright. Let me do this without this so I can see a bit better. Move it a bit more. Even. See, the moisture in the glue is actually causing the paper to curl. Side. Excuse me. working that shoulder crease. Stick this in there. Very nice. Take a look at these. Work on their shoulders. And we'll press with weight. Okay, so it's looking pretty good so far. Got a slight outward bend though. Hopefully the drying process addresses that. Let's see. 'Cause that's the kind of bend you don't want. What you want is it to bend inward towards the book block or text block. That is preferable, actually. All right, let's press it under weight. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Alright, I'm gonna soak this. It's starting to get firm, which is not good. And I will wash that in a few minutes. Wow, got down to the dregs for our methylcellulose mix. I'll have to make a new batch of that for Friday. What are we working on Friday? I'm pretty much done for today, so let's just do a little planning. I want to start work on, well, I'm waiting on some more text blocks from Hollanders. Some signatures, I mean. I have found that their pre-folded signatures are quite nice. I'm not really interested in buying pre-sewn text blocks. Maybe I'll try one sometime, but I enjoy the sewing process. So I don't see that being all that useful other than time savings. I got some scraps on this. This is how it lived its life to the fullest. Got some cleanup here. So my next major project is going to be the Commonplace book, which is a book where you sort of store quotes and ideas and stuff. These tiny little pieces. Okay. Well. I also could try doing a demonstration of making book cloth on stream. That'd be a little tricky. I usually have a much bigger space on my kitchen table where I make that. What do we got here? Alright, here's some Hollander's pre-folded signatures. It's also nice because they're lined, which is extremely difficult to find lined paper. And people are always like, oh, just print your own. Okay, well, I have an inkjet printer and not capable of doing lined paper for signatures. You need a laser printer or something. There's like a printer with a tank of ink or something. I think it's also related to laser printing. Anyway, you need a laser printer, and they're very expensive. Especially you would probably want it to be able to print on larger format paper. Not large format, but tabloid. Something like that. A3. These are some more signatures. Well, yeah, signatures, lined signatures from Hollanders. This one is going to be for the commonplace book, but I want to add a few more pages, so I'm waiting on an order for that. This one I'm going to convert. I'm actually going to take some graph pages and I'm going to interlace them on the signatures and create I remember last year there was like a Dungeon 23 challenge where you would, because I do tabletop RPGs, where you make a new dungeon level each day or something like that. And so I was like, well, it'd be really useful if you had a book that interspersed lined paper for making notes about the dungeon room and pages for the actual dungeon drawing itself. So I'm going to probably make 2 books out of that using this and some graph paper. That's another project. Let's see here. This one's already got the holes punched in it. Not sure what I'm going to do with this. Maybe I'll make like a giveaway book or something. Oh. 3 immediate projects. Oh, and we have more graph paper from the Rhodia paper thing. Paper pad. Okay. I think these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are octavos, so that's 32 times 5. Or is that? Let me see here. Oh my god, 1. I think they are 160 pages each. Okay. Some notebooks for that. I am starting to run low on book cloth. You saw my selections. And running low. Oh, here's another set of signatures that Okay, so this is printer paper that I found. It's very hard to find printer paper that's actually A4 sized in the United States. So this is actual A4 sized paper. So folding it in half means you have an A5 sheet. I think this is A5. Don't remember the numbers off the top of my head. But so this is a heavier weight text paper, also difficult to find in printer paper for less than $30. And so yeah, I've been using this for things like Coptic stitch notebooks. But this one, I must have done this one a while ago because I actually sawed. I used a technique where you take a saw and you cut the holes. I haven't done that in a while, so this is the old case for the plague. But I guess I was just storing the paper in here. Anyway, that's another project to work on. Then I have my recycled paper project. So when I ship books, I run a used bookstore online. And when I get a shipment order, these are notes I need to transcribe into my new book, crafting book, notes. So whenever I get an order, I don't have a label sticker printer, so I print out onto printer paper, and when I cut it out using my snap-off knife, I get these. This is the large piece that is opposite the label, and so I thought, why throw it away when I can save it? You know, fold it in half, make it into a text, make it into signatures. You know, recycling. Be a good practice notebook because the paper quality is not great. It's very, I don't like the feel of it. And then what is this? This is, I guess, leftover paper from some other project. I can see this was torn from a notebook. I need to clean up these edges on my paper cutter. Ooh, I should also test to see if my paper cutter can cut binder's board, because that would be amazing. I doubt it. It'll be able to do that, but that would be amazing. Alright, now I've got these. These are tiny little signatures that I made from scrap pieces of paper ages ago. And they've just sort of been floating around in my office. I need to reallocate these sheets into, yeah, some of them are falling apart. Alright. Well, I thought they'd make a fun little tiny notebook or something, I don't know. There's another project. Let's see. We got our rebind of Don Quixote. Oh, that's another point. I was so worried about the glue and stuff, the mole. Turns out you can actually use methyl cellulose to pull old glue off of a book. So I'm going to be trying that on this, and together we will see if that is. Well, I mean, it does work. It's apparently a common archival technique. We'll see if I can get it to work. All right, I can throw this away now. Well, all right. That's kind of all I have for today. Thanks for tuning in. If you ever watch this in the future, thank you for watching.